quiet for a minute, tick tock, go to clock, hear the drop of a penny. Thought you heard a creak in the floorboard, didn't it? Pull the guy's bones, shaking, they give you the business. Eject button, now you're out of commission. Long hair swinging like one of my bitches. Off the dome smooth, could've sworn that I picked it. I can dish it out, break it down and fix it. Hardwood classic, the fitted say pistons. Brown liquor sipping, need the weapon I'm gripping. Came up in the dark, now it's sunny like.
The truth is, switching a rifle to your off-shoulder has saved officers' lives. And the reason that you may want to consider this an option is because doing so limits your exposure to the threat area. This is what it looks like trying to clear this corner from my strong side. And from right here, the bad guy can see me and my muzzle can't be pointing at the guy in this position here because I haven't cleared the corner yet. So switching to my weak side, my off-shoulder. Yes, of course, in this position here, the bad guy can see me, but I can also see him, which actually gives me an opportunity to engage him. If you don't want to take my word for it, I sat through a whole conference where former Navy SEAL Trey Lindsay gave a whole presentation regarding officers switching their rifle to their off-shoulder, where they were either shot less or not shot at all. Here's a photo from a video I did regarding warrant services I'll have linked at the end of this video. In that video, the officer doesn't switch his rifle to his off-shoulder and he is shot in the head and killed. Would it have made a difference if he had switched his rifle to his off-shoulder? Possibly not. But if we're utilizing probability, statistics, and likelihoods, it makes tactical sense to minimize our exposure to the threat area when it's necessary to do so. First, I'm going to give you a very simple process that you can use to get your rifle into your off-shoulder. The first thing, and really the only thing that you need to remember, is that when it's time to move your rifle into your off-shoulder, your support hand comes down and grabs your magazine well, and at the same time, you're pushing the rifle out towards your support hand. And then once you have a grip here, you're simply moving the rifle into your off-shoulder, re-gripping with your support hand, and then grabbing your pistol grip. And then same thing coming back the other direction. Push out, grab your magazine well, bring into your other shoulder, re-grip with your support hand, and then grabbing your pistol grip. I have seen other people moving their rifle into their off-shoulder without re-gripping their hands. If you can do that, that's great. For me, I can do it without a kit on, but it's pretty much impossible for me to do that with the helmet on and with the kit on. It's uncomfortable, and I just can't be deliberate and accountable with my marksmanship doing it that way for me, but it might work for you. So when does it make sense to move your rifle into your off-shoulder? Well, if we know that doing so is gonna minimize our exposure and we're doing more of a deliberate CQB or a deliberate search to search a threat area, you wanna make sure that when you switch your rifle into your off-shoulder, you're likely not going to be doing it while you're moving, because as I continue to move forward, I'm opening myself up to threat areas that I haven't seen yet. I'm not really concerned with somebody jumping out of a door or coming around the corner trying to engage me in that moment, but I am concerned about somebody lying in wait, waiting for me to break a certain part of this corner before they start engaging. So if we came into this area here and I've identified that this hard corner to the right is the next danger area that I need to be concerned about, I want to do that as soon as practical. So if we came into here and we're stopped right here, I've already basically locked down what I can see. I would switch my rifle into my off-shoulder here, and then I would continue my search up this direction, collapsing that area down from this direction over here. Where this is more significant of a problem is if you're in a hallway and you are going into a room on the right, but there's more rooms up in front of you. As you continue to move down the hallway, you're opening yourself up to areas that you haven't cleared yet. And in that instance, you don't want to get caught short changing your rifle into your off-shoulder. Again, not concerned about somebody jumping out of a doorway or coming around a corner in that very instance, that 0.2 seconds or whatever it takes you to complete that task. But we are concerned about somebody sitting there waiting to see an officer and engaging at that moment. So ideally, where you really want to do this is from a position of cover. So if you're in a position of cover and you're looking at the next area that you have to go to, you're using what you have to your advantage, a threshold or whatever that is, and so you are on whichever side of your body. Let's just say we're on the strong side of our body with our rifle, we're looking into that threat area, and we know now we're going from here to there. You've had a lot of time to sit there and look at it, so you should already be thinking about that in your mind and preparing yourself to switch to your off-shoulder. You could stand there, continue to look at it, switch it to your off-shoulder, and then start moving. That's not necessarily wrong. Or you could also kind of take just a slight step back, switch it into your off-shoulder, and then push out and start moving. So yes, you've kind of given up that space for just a little bit of a second, half second, 0.2 seconds, whatever that is. So you can decide whether or not you want to maintain looking at it for that 0.2 seconds while you switch to your shoulder, or you want to kind of dip behind cover, concealment, and then start pushing out. But remember, you've made the decision that you are already moving. So if you decide to now stay there for whatever reason, well, now you're kind of in the wrong shoulder to be doing that because now you're standing exposed. Switching to your off shoulder doesn't make sense during CQB when you're already moving quickly, because when you're already moving quickly, you're already overexposing yourself immediately to the threat area. So it doesn't make sense to do that, and you probably won't have time to do it anyways. In law enforcement, you have to utilize everything you can to your tactical advantage, and we're going to always be behind. I don't agree with the idea that overexposing yourself too quickly when it's not necessary for you to do so is somehow safer. If you've utilized this before, if you've seen it done, if you like it or don't like it, let us know about it in the comments. If you want to support the brand, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to be notified.
118, so this family level. I can't copy. I want family level. We got crews coming.